Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, I was told this belongs here. They got what they asked for, lol. Sorry you said you were allergic. Make that machine go faster. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I was told this belongs here. They got what they asked for, lol. Here's 33% of your website. You're welcome. I had a trophy wife client who had a frozen yogurt business paid for by her husband. They contacted me and asked me to design and build a new website for her business. I gave them a quote and they asked if they could pay in 3 installments. After we all agreed to the terms, I had written approval and I received my 33% deposit. I got cracking. We had regular check-ins and they were happy with the progress until one day they just went quiet. They were already behind on the second payment and I was growing impatient. I was done with the site and just needed final approval and payment before launching it, but I couldn't get hold of either of them. I eventually got hold of the lady at her day job after weeks of being ghosted. She calmly told me that they found someone cheaper and that they won't be paying the remaining 66% even though the project was complete and all their feedback was addressed. She told me that I could just give her 33% the files and move on with my life. I made it clear that websites don't really work if you only upload 33% of the files, sarcastically, at which point she hung up the phone. I still had their FTP details for their brand domain that housed their current, old, website, so I decided to take revenge. I created a page with an animated, fake loading bar that was stuck at 33%. Underneath the loading bar was the message, "This company does not pay their suppliers." They decided to pay only a third of the price, so now they have only a third of a website. I went as far as to download the website files, split it up in roughly 3 portions, file size, and upload a zip folder containing a third of the files to the FTP folder. This way I actually gave them the 33% they paid for and I could show the file size to prove it. I also permanently deleted the old site's files from the folder so they couldn't restore from a backup. Not that they'd have a clue how to do that. They threatened to sue me. I'm still waiting, winky face. Sorry you said you were allergic. Another restaurant story from a few years ago. I cook or wait tables depending on how long it takes me to get fed up with one or the other and I need a change. We always have to be very conscious of allergies in food service as it can be life or death for some people for shellfish allergies, nut allergies, celiacs, etc. Enter gluten-free trend crowd. While I recognize some people have a legit allergy, there are so many that are trying to be trendy. The big difference is that a person with a true allergy has an already general idea of what they can and cannot have and will start the whole process off before ordering by letting you know what said allergy is, which we appreciate as it saves time. No big deal. The trendy gluten-free peeps need to tell you 3 times throughout their order, and then always end up backtracking after they find out that basically everything they desire to order either contains gluten or is potentially cross-contaminated. I was waiting this time around and I started getting tired of hearing about it. We had a particular almost daily regular who would tell us every time about her gluten intolerance, tell all the people sitting near her about it, then proceed to order items that had gluten. I was having a bad day. She comes in. Does her normal spiel about being allergic to gluten? I say yup. Wasn't sufficient enough attention for her. She emphasizes what it does to her delicate system because she's allergic. She orders the usual. Food cooked and prepared in the fryers, which have had gluten-ridden food fried in them all day. I'm thoroughly annoyed now having to listen to her graphic details about her gut and the effects from gluten. I, as usual, inform her the fryers are cooked in with items containing gluten. As she says the normal "oh that's fine," I have an evil idea pop into my head. Ma'am, you just said you're allergic to gluten. I cannot in good conscience put this restaurant or my job at risk by serving you food that you will have an allergic reaction to. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to pick another item. She's shocked. Starts backtracking. I stand firm. No. I'm sorry, but I just can't do it. If you get sick from the food because I was careless about your allergy, then I could lose my job. These are the items you can choose from today. Calls manager over. Manager backs me up after hearing the story. Manager was tired of her too. Lady indignantly orders one of the items I listed to save face. Obviously no tip, but I don't care, it was worth it. Still came back 2 days later miraculously cured of her gluten allergy. Make that machine go faster. I work as a medical laboratory scientist, MLS, in a fairly large 600-bed regional hospital. I'm the one that runs all the tests your doctor orders on your blood and other body fluids. Our testing areas, or benches, in the lab are chemistry, hematology, coagulation, urinalysis, blood bank, and microbiology, each of which has several analyzers, machines ranging from the size of a microwave to the size of a hippo, used for testing different things. I work nights, so it's just a skeleton crew in the lab, 2 of us MLS lab techs, 1 lab assistant, and 2 phlebotomists who double as specimen processors. As you can imagine, things get pretty busy with those many benches to cover for that many patients and just the 2 of us to cover them. Between level 1 traumas being flown in from all over the western half of our state and the eastern half of our neighboring state, heart attacks, surgeries, drug overdoses, sepsis, meningitis, cancer, etc., it's hard to keep up. Additionally, much of the testing takes upwards of 15 to 20 minutes or more to run on the analyzer, depending on the test, and some a lot longer than that. Most of the nurses and doctors understand our constraints, and while we do get the occasional call asking when results will be ready, they mostly leave us alone. Well, last night I had a doctor calling for the results on a hepatitis panel. These are not usually considered stat tests, but this one was ordered as such, so I got it running right away. But the panel takes a long time to run, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes, depending on if it is reactive and reflexes to further testing. The doctor called me after I'd only had it on the analyzer for 15 minutes. I informed him it would be at least another half hour, maybe as much as an hour and a half longer, and he told me that was ridiculous, and said that it had never taken that long before. I said I was sorry, but that was the only estimate I had to give him. 35 minutes later, the doctor walked into the lab. For those who don't know, this is an extremely rare occurrence. We see nurses and CNAs all the time, but doctors are too busy to ever come down themselves unless it's a dire situation. Me, hi, how can I help you? Doctor, are you the one I talked to on the phone earlier? Is my hepatitis ready yet? I'm not seeing it in the chart. Me, let me check. No, it looks like it's still running. The current estimate is another 30 minutes, and I'll be sure to release the results to the patient's chart as soon as it's finished. Doctor, 30 more minutes? That's insane. You told me 30 minutes on the phone 35 minutes ago. Me, I told you at least 30 minutes, and said it could be as much as an hour and a half. 30 more minutes is actually right in the middle of my original estimate. Doctor, this is totally unacceptable. You need to do something to make that machine go faster. I had about reached my limit with this guy, so at that point I turned around and walked the few steps over to the analyzer in question, leaned in close to where I could hear the machinery buzzing along, and yelled, "Go faster," as loud as I could. When I turned back to the doctor, I noticed his face was an odd shade of purple as he turned around and stomped out of the lab without another word. He could write me up for unprofessionalism, but not without revealing himself to be a total ass in the process, so I think I'm safe. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.